Fiona Whitten from Oakville Crafts here, and welcome to the last card and a cuppa of July. I can't believe it. Wow, this summer is going really fast. So yeah, this is the last one, at least the last card and a cuppa for this month. I'm going to take a break from them next month, but I will be doing just, it's not kind of just, Facebook Live still in August, same time, just so that you know for the next month, and then card and a cuppa will be restarting in September. The plan is that we hope, or at least I hope, to get it all up and running and back in at Home Grange. So we will see what happens. I need to work out some logistics with them because I don't know how many people they're quite happy to have around tables and things like that. Also whether you guys still want to social distance and things like that. So there's a few little things to be ironed out. Card and a cuppa kits for September will still go in the post. So I will be putting up a sign up soon. So they'll go in the post beginning of September. The first one will definitely be via Facebook Live though, because I've only just got back and I won't have had time to check out Home Grange and sort it all out once and for all, because it's easier to do it in person rather than it is by email and stuff. So anyway, I'm waffling, but there you go. So I'm just going to quickly check. I think I am live. I just need to make sure that I don't have any sound on, because the last thing you need is to hear me talking twice. Yep, it is live, which is good. And let's see. Oh. Hi Sally, how you doing? Right, anyway, so this is the kit for the card and a cuppa for today. You may have different pots, different plants from me, just so that you know, so don't expect yours to look identical to mine. You may also have slightly different background paper. So this is the bloom where you grow paper, as are the plants, and I'll show you that in a minute. So some of you will have this brickwork that looks kind of more of an orangey brown. Some of you will have a grey, just so that you know. And then obviously on the back you've got a different thing. So you will have, yes, your envelope. And then you have, this is an evening evergreen card base. So it's a standard piece of A4 cut in half and then scored. So you have that. You have your basic white innie. You should have, yes you do, a piece of the same paper that you have for the front. For the inside, it's up to you whether you use it. So you've got your piece, your panel, and then you've got your inside, and you also have a paper lattice. So these come in packs of 10, and they're really good because they make a really nice focal point. They work really well with this stamp set and the paper and everything. And there's lots of things you can do with this. You can die cut them, you can colour them, either by using a sponge dauber, a brayer, or just simply pressing them onto an ink pad. I don't know who saw my post yesterday, but I did suggest that maybe to save some time, people fussy cut some of their plants and pots. So some of the plants, actually, there are dies that will cut them. Others, yeah, I'm afraid, yeah, you do have to fussy cut. So everyone will have at least one plant that's been die cut, and then you'll have a sheet that has 3 different plant pots. And again, you're not all necessarily going to have the same plant pots. So I'll just show you what it is that we're actually using. So the paper coordinates with this Plentiful Plants bundle. So you have the stamp set, which has same, well, these two and that one are the same as what's in the on the paper. This is not, and then also you've got your sentiments, and then you have coordinating dies. So the bundle's really useful because it has all sorts of things. Not only does it have things that will cut out the plants, but it has things that will give you one of them, like the macrame. Move this over. Macrame basket, which is cute, like this, and all sorts of other bits and pieces. So the paper, and I really love this paper because it's been one of my favourites in the catalogue, especially when it comes to Card and a Cuppa, because as you know, I cannot give you stamped images. So this is one of the sheets. As you can see, I've been taking out some of the plants, and then the dies, and these are the dies. So they're called the Perfect Plant dies. Oops. And you will find, so like this one will fit, I have to remember which one it fits. This one here. This one, it's a funny looking one, fits that one. No, it doesn't. There's another one. Where is it? That one. That's it. I kind of think sometimes it's, yeah, I'm not going to say what I think it looks like. I'm sure some of you will think about it. And then there is one for this one. So those are the three that have the dies. But then you've also got dies for the pots and all sorts of bits and pieces. So I've certainly at least die cut one for everyone before I left for the States. So there's this sheet. So you compare that up with the pots. So this is the sheet that I cut the pots out of. So that, they make a really good combination. On the reverse side, you've got little, so this is looks more like wood, and you've got little ferny type plants. There's this sheet, which is great because it's got everything done for you. So you've already got your plants in a pot. So you just need to fussy cut around these, and you can, well, it depends on how many you want put on per card, but I mean, you could in theory just do one per card, and I'll show you an idea about that in a minute. And then the reverse side of that is some other sort of wood planking. This is, yes, it's busy, it's very green. But on the reverse side there is some brickwork. This is a sheet, I like this because actually you can cut this in half that way and then just simply cut it into thirds, and then you've already got 6 pre-made card fronts effectively. So that's very versatile. And then you've just got some sort of marbly tiling effect. Kind of reminds me of one of my floor tiles. And then you have some other brickwork, and on the other side again it's very green, so not everyone's cup of tea. And this actually does make really good backgrounds, but I've kept away from it today. So I'm trying to think, did we use that for something else? But I know I've certainly used that. Oh, I know what it is. I used it for class. So that's the paper. And then these are the cards that I've made 2 cards so far. So this was my idea. I just simply used everything that was in the kit. So I paired up my plants with my pots and just put the paper inside. So I've simply stuck the designer series paper, the double-sided paper on the top. Then added the lattice dies. Now you don't need to go mad with these, and I found that actually just putting a little dot of glue in each of these little solid bits works. And then I've glued together my plant pot and my plant and then just simply put them on so they look like plants that are hanging on the wall. So that was one idea. And you'll notice that there's no sentiment on that. I didn't think it needed, and obviously I could stamp a sentiment in the middle if I wanted to. And then this is my second card, which is a lot simpler. So I only used one pot, one plant, and then I just used my trimmer. Or actually, trimmer's not necessarily the best thing for it if you've got a cutter, which is a guillotine, or a pair of scissors. That's a good idea. So I just simply cut it down just to create a focal point in the corner, and then added my plant pot with my plant in it, and I just stamped on the sentiment a little note, so that actually it comes from the stamp set, so it's part of that little note with the biggest thanks. So I just simply used some masking tape to blank off those, inked up that, removed the masking tape so I didn't get black blotchy marks all over it, and then just stamped a little note. So that's what I did with that one. And then, like I say, that's just glued straight on, and the plant pot, and the plant is has some Stampin dimensionals underneath, and then on the inside, I used both. So I used both the piece of paper that I had cut for the inside, and then this is what some of the bits of the paper lattice that was left over, so I thought, okay, I can make use of that, so I actually added that to the inside of the card too. So that's that card. So what are we going to do with this kit is the $64 million question. So I've got my plants, I've got one pot that I've already cut out. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to show you how easy it is to colour the paper lattice. Now if you don't mind getting messy, that's fine. So all you need to do is simply place that on, and then actually I'm not sure that I'm going to do it. And just poke it into the, she says, got it all over my finger. You see it's starting to go, so you might need to do it a couple of times. The alternative is, and wait for it, I'm just going to go for it, is just simply take that and that's one half done. But the only thing about doing it this way, which although make sure that you've got ink all over the place, is it'll take a little while to dry. I would have used a dauber, but I can't find them. I know I got them somewhere. So I don't know if you can see, so that's now a very dark green. And I'm just going to get a piece of kitchen roll, because I think I'm going to need to. I'm going to put that to one side to dry. And I need to get this off my finger. Oops, there we go. So I'm just gonna, you've got to love grid paper. There you go. That's it. I think that should be okay now. So I'll just leave that lattice to dry. And then the $64 million question is, am I going to use the brickwork side, or am I going to use the wood panelling side? Kind of looks like pine. I think, let's see, how does that look on it? Oh yeah, so probably would be a lot more noticeable on that side. Yep, I like that. That would work. And then the other question is, do we want to leave that as a solid piece, or do we want to cut it up? And I don't know. And I'm just going to quickly fussy cut my... So I've got my plants and I've got one pot. When it comes to the pots with the handles, if you want to cut the handles off, feel free. So whatever is easiest for you. I think I'm going to cut the handle off on this one, only because I don't have all day, and you don't have all day for me to sit and fussy cut the handles. just going to do that. That's that one. And then I just need to decide which plant I'm going to put in what. So I think I'm going to put that one in that one, like that. And this one, I need to just fussy cut that a bit more because I can see white. And I don't really want to see white on that one. Now if you've got a craft knife, which I don't have, you could just cut a slit in here and effectively put the plant inside. But I'm just going to leave it like that. And then this one, I don't know, it's going to end up being very green. Well, that would work, but again I'm going to take the handle off because who says you have to have handles on your pots? Obviously cooking pots will come in handy with handles, but these pots are just decorative pots. If you are cutting the handles off, you kind of want to make sure that you get really close to the edge of the pot so that you kind of cut off the bit that would have been the handle. And luckily these are pretty quick to fussy cut because a lot of straight lines, so you don't need to worry too much. So I've got my 3 pots. I have my 3 lots of plant. Don't need that bit. And then I just need to decide what I'm going to do with my card. So do I want to keep this as a portrait card, or do I want to turn it and make it a landscape card is the first question. So if we put it this way, and then got one plant here. And this is the fun part because you can just sit forever and a day decorating. So nothing says that you have to have everything on the same level, so I'm going to just simply overlap them a little bit so that they look more like they're sort of sitting together. And then this one, maybe I'll move it over a bit. Or maybe I'll even put it over here. That's that. Move that up a bit. Put that one in. There. Put that one in, I think there. So I've just got a little scene there, like that. And then yes, there's a lot of open space, but you can use that to put a sentiment on or in. So that's that. Yep, that would work. Or you could, let's see, do I want to chop that so that I've only got, I think I will. I'm going to chop this. So I'm just going to show you just how easy it is to cut it. It's up to you whether you decide to go, let's see, here or take it off here. Just gonna, this bit is the quickest bit because you just simply snip it where it meets here. If you're going to cut in down the middle, then you need to be careful which side you want to put this piece, or it's going to be almost impossible to get a trimmer out and trim it so that you're trimming right down the middle. So I'm going to turn it so that that open bit is here. So we're going to do that. And then the nice thing about this is that this is light enough that I can then stamp directly onto it. Now I would suggest, rather than sticking this, that you stamp first, because then if you do make a boo-boo, you can just simply turn over Yes, the other side's different, but it's not so bad. Now, the stamps are photopolymer, so they're clear, which makes it easy when it comes to stamping. Now, the question is, what am I going to put on? To a dear friend or thank you? I'm always seem to be doing thank you, but I like that thank you sentiment, but I don't know if it will be too big to fit in that space. But let's see. Actually, no, it will fit. It just depends on where you want to put it. So, yep, no, that will fit. So that's fine. Let's move that out of the way for a second. Pick that up. Like that. Don't need that and that for a moment. Let's try and, I'm not going to try, I am going to stamp it. And I'm going to use Evening Evergreen. Which I did have, because obviously I just did that. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to use my Evening Evergreen. And the nice thing, because the ink is water-based, it will wash off as well, so don't worry that I'm going to go around with green fingers all day. I'm not. It will wash off. So we had this on here. I'm just putting this on here so that I can work out where I want to stamp. Just ink it up. I'm just going to stamp on here to make sure that will stamp properly. Now, where's that come from? Oh, it's weird because it's not on there. Let's try again. Maybe that was just me. No, it's okay. So this is quite a juicy ink pad. I don't want to. There we go. And stamp that. Let's close up the ink pad because I really do not want to get that everywhere. Okay, so glue dots. So you can use glue dots or you can use just glue, ordinary glue. And I think actually, looking at the size of the glue dots, they're slightly bigger than that. So I am actually going to use just my Tombow, my multi-purpose glue, to fix the lattice on. So I'm just going to put a little blob of glue on each of the, the solid ones, because that way that will hold it. It's not like it's a huge piece and really heavy. It's not going to fall off the paper. Have I got all of them? No, that one. So I'm playing I Spy sometimes, trying to find them all. Right, so that's that. And we're going to put that on here. Try and, I was going to say, at least make it equal top and bottom. That's that. Then just push down on the little dots, because that will then make sure that the glue is holding that. So that's going to go on there. Now we were going to put, I can't remember now which plant went with which. Right, okay, so this frondy one went with this. Now this is where I would suggest that you do just use glue dots, because it just makes it so much easier. So if you just put a glue dot, I want it on the back of the lip of the pot. So I'm just going to push that onto there, like that. Let's pick that up. And then try, she says, centralise this. I want the one of the leaves to be off, overhanging the edge of the pot like that, just to make it slightly more interesting. As if plant pots can be really interesting. And of course they can, because there's so many different things. So this one I'm actually going to just use the glue dot on the actual piece of thing, and then I'm going to use do the same thing again and put the glue dot on the back of this pot, and then pick it up. And again, it depends on how much of the plant you want showing. Try not to stick it to what's underneath. So this one, when I fussy cut it, I wanted to get as much of the background out. So what I did is I actually cut between the leaves. So that was actually joining to there. So I decided, okay, well, I want to cut that piece out. So I will just simply cut through. So that was what I did. Now, bring this back. So I think from memory we had one pot here. The other pot was kind of there. Oops. Sometimes I wish I'd taken a photograph of what my idea was, so then I'd remember. Oh, no, it wasn't how it was it? So let's try again. Pot, pot. And then it's up to you as to whether you want to glue them or use dimensionals on them. So this one, I would suggest, this big one, that you glue it, because it's going to be the piece that is at the back. The ones further forward, you can then add dimensionals to, just to simply give the impression that they are further forward. So this one I'm going to glue. I don't need to go too mad with it. So I'm going to put that there. And I don't mind it overhanging the lattice either. So that's going to go there. This one was going to go roughly here. So that one I'm going to put some dimensionals on. And yes, I have found them. Woohoo! I knew where they were today. And yeah, I'll use the big ones rather than the little ones. So I can stick one behind the plant, that'll hold that one up. And then a couple just on the pots. You don't need to go too mad again, because simply there's not a lot of weight in these. So that one's going to go here. Got my elbow on something. That was a bit of dimensional. This one I think I will use the minis, simply because it's a slightly smaller plant, but I can still get the dimensionals in. I'm going to put one where the glue dot is, just to make sure. And I've got a piece here that I cut off. That was what I was leaning on. So I'm just going to cut a couple of bits. The mini dimensionals are great, but it doesn't mean that you don't sometimes still have to go and cut a little piece that you need just to put onto something. But they're so easy to cut, it doesn't matter now. Hopefully you won't see that. No, it might need to go a bit smaller. So what's going on at the moment? Oh yes, so this is Cuppa, and other things that are happening is I'm sure you're probably all aware that there is a designer series paper sale on at the moment. It runs till the 2nd of August, 15% off select packs of paper. And actually the Bloom Where You're Planted paper, this is the one that I've used today, is one of those packs of paper that has the 15% off. So if you don't have a Stampin' Up demonstrator, I'd love for you to shop with me, and you can do that by visiting my online shop or by emailing me. So that's that. So don't miss out. There's all sorts of paper in there on the sale, which is good. It's always great to stock up on the paper. So that's effectively my card. Now I am just going to glue that directly to the card front, because then I don't want to put too much more height on it, because obviously this one has already got dimensionals on now. So there's that. So that's that. So that just leaves me to do my innie. Now I have my piece of white. Oh yes, so I was saying paper sale. The July, we call it the July to December catalogue, and I know it doesn't actually start at August. It had been intended to be July, but with the pandemic and everything, there's been issues when it came to shipping and stuff, so it doesn't actually going to be starting till August. So they've all gone in the post. I've sent them out, so hopefully everybody has started to receive theirs. And so I'm going to use my Paper Lattice and that piece of paper that was designed to go in the middle, and I'm going to just do the side rather than the bottom. It's really up to you. Actually thinking about it, the paper you've got is not going to be big enough to do the bottom anyway, unless you cut it in half. So I'm just going to put, oops, I want it to be the same top and bottom. That was me not paying attention and gabbling on too much. Right, that's that, and then that's just going to glue over the top. Like that, and then I'll cut it all off in a second on this once it's had a chance to dry. Let's just turn that. There we go. So I'm going to use the same size as the paper as I've used for the front. There we go. And just trim this. It's a lot easier to trim when you've got a straight line to trim it against, she says, having just realised that actually it's not trimmed properly. So if you find that you're having pieces sticking out, I've found that if you actually, rather than running your scissors down straight, if you go slightly at an angle, it will cut the pieces underneath off without affecting that bit at the top, like that. So I'm actually cutting through some of the white there, but you know what, you're not going to see it because it's hidden by the fact that so that can then go on the inside. Oh yes, so yeah, so celebrate catalogue for the July to December catalogue starts in August. They're out, have been posted. If you would like a copy, then please let me know. It's all gone already to the people who have ordered for me in the last 6 months. So that's all sorted. And then we have the second celebration starting at the same time. For those of you who are familiar with celebration, it's I was going to say a yearly event, but actually this year it's been twice. So this is the second one, the first one being in January and February, and this one will run from again the 3rd of August to the end of September, so 2 months. Previous one was 2 months. Normally they're 3 but only once, so slightly different this year. Completely different items. Some of them Christmas related, some of them not. So again, those went out, the brochures went out with the mini catalogue. So that starts on the 3rd. So that's just under 2 weeks. My goodness, can't believe that. And I'll be starting to share things as well this week. But anyway, so here are my 3 cards, and I'm done. So these 2 were the ones that I had made beforehand, and then this is the one that I've made today. So I hope you have enjoyed watching. Have fun with your kits. Obviously you can mix match. You don't have to put the same plants with the same pots like I have. You can add some embellishments. I might put some embellishments on the pots. I haven't decided yet. And I will be back next Wednesday at 3 o'clock with some card and stamping techniques. So have fun, take care, hope you manage to stay cool. I think it's been pretty warm there. And as I said, I will see you next week. Bye.